And welcome to lesson 2. Again, in my previous video we covered the basic flourishes, which was the downward simultaneous, the upward simultaneous, the alternating downward, and the alternating upward. Okay? Now in this video we're going to be focusing mainly on the downward flourish, but this video is going to cover more of a figure 8 motion, which with a single saber is that motion there. Again, briefly I'll cover the figure 8. Of course you should already know how to do these moves if you're trying to learn 2 sabers, but as I showed in my single saber series, you want very loose grip on this side. You want the wrist to mainly be controlling the action on this side, and the forearm to control it as it comes across your body. And that applies to both hands. So this side, the saber is in my left hand, so I'm using my wrist and the looseness of my grip to control it on my left side, and then my forearm on the other side. So wrist, forearm, wrist, forearm. And that forearm action is going to come in very heavily here, because if you try to use your wrist for each side, you're pretty much not going to be able to do this move. You're going to be hitting the sabers together. It's going to feel very awkward. Now, what this move is, I think a good way to explain it, it's a simultaneous figure 8, a downward figure 8. And what it looks like is that. Okay, so all you're doing is you're doing a figure 8 with each hand like that. The only thing is, as you're doing it, one saber passes over the other. Okay? So as you can see here, my right hand is passing over my left hand. And then back. Now, you can see how close the sabers are coming to my shoulders. Okay, you want to try to keep this move as close to your body as you can, instead of, flaring out to the sides. You want your forearms to be controlling sabers as they come across your body. You almost want to be touching your wrist. Not exactly, but that's kind of what it feels like. So as I come across, okay, I guess this is your classic star killer stance, but it feels like my elbows are wanting to touch each other, even though they're not. And the sabers are coming very close to my shoulders, and then back over. Again, you want to practice this very slow, because when you come across, you can hit your sabers together, you can hit your blades together. So, practice this move very slowly. And try to keep it as tight as possible, or as close to your body as possible. And then when you get the coordination down, you can start slowly adding your speed. Okay, here's what it looks like from the side. Again, your shoulders as well need to be pretty loose for this, because they're going to be moving a lot. So again, you start with the basic, the simultaneous basic, and then you go into the simultaneous figure 8. Now I'm just covering the downwards here. We'll get into the upwards in the next video. Now, as you can see, my right hand is always passing over my left, as you can see there. I can alternate which hand passes over the top. So I can do my right, then my left, right, left, which looks like right, left. Okay? Right, left. And the way I'm doing that is basically just doing this as I'm doing the move. So one hand is always slightly higher than the other one. Okay? So I start off simultaneous basic. As I come into the figure eight, this hand drops slightly and this hand raises slightly, as you can see there. Now from here, they're pretty much exactly the same height again. So they start out the same height. One hand lowers, one hand raises for the figure eight. And then they come pretty much back to the same height. As they come back to the other sides again, one hand's going to raise and one hand's going to lower. So another way to say it is every time you cross your body, one hand is going to be slightly higher than the other. As they're on the same sides, like that, then they're going to be the same height. Okay, so right hand on top, same height, right hand slightly higher, and then same height. Right hand slightly higher, same height. Again, what you can do is alternate which hand. So right now it's my right hand on top. Now it'll be my left hand on top. Right, left, right, left. Okay? So that just gives you some variability with that move. Again, it's probably not as flashy as some of the other moves by itself, but it is good to know. I mean, it does help build that coordination between the two sabers. It's very good for getting the feeling of them working together instead of as separate, so it's very good for that. Here's the move on the side. Basic, figure eight, basic, figure eight. And I'm alternating which hand is on top here. Okay. Again, when the sabers are on the same side of your body, or on the same side as the hand they're in, is what I'm looking to say, you want to control them mainly with the wrist and the looseness of your grip. As they come across your body, that's when your forearm takes over. Okay, so wrist, forearm, wrist, forearm. Okay, it's the exact same thing as a single saber figure eight. Okay, in each hand. The only thing you're doing is just adding a second one. Okay. Again, practice it very slow. Try to keep the sabers from hitting each other, either the hilts or the blade. And slowly build your speed once you have that coordination. And as you're practicing, try to keep the sabers as close to your body as possible. And if you're using your forearm a lot for this, that'll be a pretty easy endeavor. Okay, so that's the downward simultaneous figure eights. Next video we'll get into the upward simultaneous figure eights. So I'll see you in that one.